Hello, everyone, and welcome back. So Michelle just showed me a trailer for Abyssal Spider. And
how do you feel?
Well, I commented this is a long trailer. I feel like when you notice it's a long trailer, it's a sign that you're not engaged. Because afterwards, I did realize that I think it's the same length as a trailer I showed you for my movie last week.
Yep.
But that being said, in the first third of the trailer,
it was very engaging.
I wanted to throw up. After like the second or third one,
yeah. But it was like two trailers put together.
It felt like it was all the trailers they had made. And then this is what we watched it on YouTube. That's where we watched the trailers. It did feel like they put two trailers together, at least. There was some fun random English in the middle. My brain like had processing issues with that because I never could have seen that coming.
Nope.
Do you feel like this is an accurate representation of the film that you're about to tell me about?
Yeah. Yes and no.
What is something I should look forward to?
They, as with a lot of trailers, what they do is they pluck the best special effects from the movie.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tales of Our Times. This is a show where we discuss the stories that move us, what makes them so meaningful, and why others could or should find them meaningful as well. Except for now, we're in Fall Freakout, so not meaningful in a touchy-feely way. Certainly not today, but it did move me. Like I said before, I wanted to throw up. So we're here with our official co-host for the month, Michelle Chiang.
Hello, everyone.
And we're discussing scary movies from Taiwan. And that means scary movies that are made in Taiwan, written in Taiwan, filmed in Taiwan, or happen to star Taiwanese people doing Taiwanese things like accidentally activating ghosts or solving migrant mysteries, which are wildly different, or in today's case, fighting sea monsters that are actually giant spiders.
You would hate this movie.
I already hated the trailer. And this is like, I feel like it does kind of sound like we're playing it up, but I also feel like you and I did pick the movies that would get the most disapproval from each other when we decided to do this.
That's the purpose of this series.
Yeah, for very different reasons, though. The reason here being that I am arachnophobic. I don't think this has come up on the show before.
And they look like spiders.
They are just like flesh-colored spiders. I did appreciate in the trailer, everybody wants to have the alien shot. I feel like it very much felt like an alien wannabe when I was watching a lot of the trailers. I was like, I feel like I've seen these before. Yeah. So, Michelle, is there any like cultural stuff?
Yes. So
what should we know?
What should we know about cultural stuff about
giant
this particular
spiders?
Movie? Well, I do think that it is actually, as you said, kind of like a copycat of Western, maybe sci-fi, but like those monster flicks. The premise of this is that nuclear waste was spilled in a certain part of the ocean. And,
Oh, it's like a Godzilla thing.
Exactly,
Okay.
like a Godzilla thing, except they're not quite as large. It's a monster flick, pretty classic.
That happens a lot though too, because like the movie I told you about last week, The Bridge Curse, is like basically an East Asian slasher film.
Right.
But the slasher is always going to be a ghost. It's never going to be a person. It's always going to be like a ghosty goo.
Yes.
So this is our monster flick for the month.
Yeah. But it was very simple, straightforward, linear movie. Very
that's nice.
predictable.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I mean, which is enjoyable. If this had been made better, I'm just going to come out and say. So yes,
I said earlier it could be like a monster B flick.
And as I said earlier, if I could give it not a B, I would give it an F.
Oh no!
Many reasons. We will discuss these
We'll
reasons
talk about that
as we go. So let's dive in.
Break it down for me.
The movie opens. There's a helicopter. There's rescue divers, probably Coast Guard. Somebody is they're dropping out of a helicopter. They're going to rescue some people of this boat. And
it's a big commercial fishing boat.
This boat goes down.
Yikes!
So the main character, his name is Ajie or Jie.
Jimmy, is that him?
Yeah.
The subtitles called him Jimmy. We'll call him Ajie because that's a better name anyway.
Okay, so Ajie is one of the rescue divers, and he's got a few other faces that we'll see again later in the movie. But there's his leader is Captain Ding, or leader Ding, right?
That's cute. Ding,
And
ding.
he's giving the motivational speech, like we're gonna go and rescuers, and then they high five or hands together in the middle, and then they go on their mission.
Woo!
And while they're on the boat, it's like, or on the helicopter, I should say, I think it's like, why are you even here? Aren't you supposed to be, with your wife? She's giving birth, isn't she? And he's like, this is important. It's a rescue. First priority is to rescue people and save lives and all that.
I kind of agree with that. Ajie, I find no fault with this.
Yes. And then there's this, something happens, a pole falls, Ding, the leader, falls into the water and, sinks into the ocean. Ajie is trying to rescue him, and he thinks that he sees something pull him down. But this is too murky. It seems like some kind of like bug legs or something.
Like a bug leg,
yeah,
like
a little
crab.
bit. Right, a little
so
bit.
Ading's just like gone now? Mm-hmm. Okay,
So this goes down disastrously. The boat goes down anyway. Ajie, his friend and captain dies and drowns.
Ding is gone.
And he returns to find that his wife has died in childbirth.
Wow, that seems like an unnecessary punishment. It's celestial punishment for a guy who's like, I'm just out here trying to save lives.
Yeah, and so it opens on this horrible disaster, and then time jumps to him being a single dad, and his daughter's like, I would estimate 4.
Okay, well, at least he has his daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They live in fairly impoverished conditions, and she's adorable. Like immediately you love her. She's super smart. He gets into a bar fight. It's a mahjong parlor, and he comes home. And he's like, "Oh, I bumped my head by accident," and she puts a Band-Aid on it. It's so cute.
She's like, "No."
And she said, "Mom told you to stop gambling, and you need to keep your promise."
Go.
And he's just a drunkard. He's like in a terrible.
He's lost his.
He's lost.
Yeah,
he's just lost.
Period.
Now at this point, the movie is still kind of okay.
Yeah, it's a good setup.
I had not yet texted you saying it's terrible. So it then continues. He's at this like Hall place, and they're having a meal, and his dad is there, really just laying into this guy. Get your act together, because my grandchild, right? She needs to live a good life.
She's not being raised in good conditions,
and then
clearly.
This other dude, and he says, give a young person a chance, right? Let him join your crew.
Okay.
Make some money. His dad is a fishing boat captain.
Good.
So dad is convinced to let his son join the crew.
Give him a chance. All right.
So Ajie is trying to sober up. He's like deciding he's going to turn a new leaf, and he joins the crew of this fishing boat. It's a larger vessel. Maybe there's like 20 men. And first mate is this guy named Ading. And
it's a new Ading.
It's a new Ading.
Okay.
And the crew really hates that Ajie is on board.
Yeah.
Because he's not a seasoned fisher person. He actually vomits when he's on board from seasickness because he doesn't have a sea legs. He's like nepotism, right?
I was just going to say he's like a Nepo baby.
He's a Nepo baby.
Especially to this squad. He's
exactly.
like, wow, cool.
Seasoned.
Yeah.
Looking
they're the Popeyes.
Exactly. In fact, they bully him. There's a lot of fights. And this goes on pretty severely in increasing amounts of severity. Oh, I should mention that during this entire thing, while there's fights going on, there's quiet talks behind the back of the captain by First Mate Ding with his brethren who need to transport parcels to a certain island in order to make a lot of money. It's implied that maybe it's like, illegal substances
drugs
or whatever.
Something.
Yeah, something.
Dang.
So Ding is up to no good.
This is a bad ding.
It's a bad ding.
It's a bad ding.
And that's one of the reasons why, the animosity on board is more and more intense.
And they also want to go to this island. They're not making enough money.
Yep.
The captain probably doesn't want to go to the island because he doesn't understand why you would do that.
Exactly. So the captain is really just in it to fish because he's actually a good, moral, upstanding fisher captain.
Yeah. He's the moral lead.
Yes.
Of the movie.
Yeah. Until they catch fish. Just like, there's fish. Yeah, we got some.
Things are better.
Things are a little bit better. And they pull up a net full of fish. And they empty it into the hold. And stuff starts to go awry because in the net that they caught,
there's a spider. Yeah.
There is a spider thing in the net. I do give it to the creators of the spider thing for making it look like it is part spider crab, but
It's got another finger down my spine.
But scientifically inaccurate. And as you can imagine, he bites some people, and the spider venom does really horrible things to them. And the vomiting black goo.
Love some black goo.
Oh, totally. And wherever this spider thing goes, it leaves like a mucus trail.
Ew. That also
Very-
doesn't make sense, but like, okay. This is why I said it's like an
It makes no
alien.
sense.
It's an
sense.
alien copycat, but like they do need to be able to track it somehow.
Yeah,
For the sake of the movie, you have to be able to track where this spider's going to be. Yes. The spider's loose in the hole. People are getting bit.
At this point, this is when I text you that's a terrible movie. They then proceed to ignore what's happening because the spider has somehow disappeared. It's no longer bothering people.
Oh, this is like the movie. It's like the tag along. We've seen the problem. The problem is here. The problem will kill us. Well, we better get back to work. I hate that. I hate that.
It's daytime again.
Well, you know, spiders hate daytime.
Oh, totally.
And they also just die by themselves. So maybe that's what happened here.
And they find this girl who's just been marooned in the middle of the ocean. She's on a piece of debris.
I wondered how the girl ended up on the boat.
Yeah, you know, the boat sees her. They pick her up, and her story is that she and her friend decided to take a boat into the ocean, but she couldn't tell the captain which port she left out of, what her vessel was named. No information whatsoever. And she's like, but I do know that I need to go here.
Is it the island?
It's the island.
It's
of course.
Bad Island.
Yes, the Bad Island.
So yeah, so she's like,
the smuggling.
I was gonna smuggle drugs. Probably.
Yeah. First Mate Ding is continuing talks.
Yeah, he's planning a mutiny. Is basically what he's doing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He's planning mutiny. All the crew are now really moving over onto his side, with the exception of the engineer.
And he's gonna have one guy.
Yeah.
Ship's captain, ride or die, and his son.
And a couple of, no-name red coats.
And red shirts.
Red shirts, thank you.
Red coat is the American Revolution,
Thank you.
British Army.
So it's red shirts. A bunch of red shirts that, you're never really going to know. And, okay, guy who dies...
Right, the dead guy from Spider Venom who's just here.
Is wrapped up in a cloth, and they decide that they're going to burn the body and then throw him into the ocean.
Honestly, that's a solid plan.
That's a solid plan.
Yes.
But what they do is they wrap him in a white bed sheet and set him on fire and then immediately kick him into the ocean.
So it gets weirder.
Ridiculous.
You're like, okay, I don't know.
The spider reappears.
Of course it does.
Now there's more spiders. You start to see
babies.
really, really dark filmography of the spider crab things underwater. And then they're like popping up and like looking on the surface. There's more on the boat and it becomes a whole big thing. And then during this turmoil, First Mate Ding, I think it was him or one of his goons that stabs Captain Dad.
Captain Dad, no!
Captain Dad is injured. He's not dead. And then they're hiding in like the engine room because the engine guys that come,
And also I drive the boat, so like, what are they going to do without me?
Exactly.
Nothing.
So First Mate Ding and his goons are getting slaughtered on board, but First Mate Ding
spiders.
is just super, super concerned with the parcels and making money. He's just like a really bad Ding dude.
You know what? Like, he did come this far. He just stabbed his captain. If this does not go through, he does not have a job. He's actually at negative money and jail.
Yeah.
So,
but even while the spider encouraged this invasion is going on, the Captain Dad he's a good man. He's like, they're banging on the door to let him in. He's like, let him in.
Well, the ocean rule is you help people even if you don't like them. That's what you should be doing.
But mutiny is like punishable.
Yeah, but that was like mutiny before spider monsters.
Okay.
I feel like their tune has changed quite a bit.
He opens the door. It's very linear.
Yeah.
Bigger spider monsters appear. More people get ganked.
Spider got.
Exactly, by spider
Get
got.
ganked. Yeah,
And
it's true.
And then at some point in this kerfuffle, First Mate Ding reveals why he hates Ajay so much, because Leader Ding on the rescue squad was his little brother.
You know, that does make sense.
It's
That's why.
super
Because
predictable.
because two Dings.
Yes, Ding is
In
very,
one
very
movie. It's a
predictable.
last
Yes.
name.
Yeah. But
Why?
Ajay manages to convince the remainder of this crew that the only way that they can survive is to band together to fight the spiders.
Yeah. It's a good cause. I would join.
And the more fighting and battling and stuff, First Mate Ding gets bit by spider, realizes that maybe it's not about the money and not about hate. And
It's too late.
And engineer uncle also dies by spider. All that's left really is Captain
And Ajay?
Dad. First Mate Ding is bit but still alive, and the lady that they
Oh, right.
rescued.
She's
is,
just been here.
Yeah, she's just been there. So at the very end of this thing, Captain Dad and First Mate Ding, they've got the giant, biggest spider monster on one side who's already been wounded by fire or whatever, and they shove it off the edge of the boat, and with the two men who fall into the ocean, and everybody drowns.
Oh, no. Wait, what?
Yes.
What?
Yes. So Captain Dad passes away. He is taken by the deep. First Mate Ding turns new leaf and winds up self-sacrificing. But, while he's like shoving the spider off, he's like, you live a good life.
Take turns,
Yep.
like on their little stump speech. It's like, we're fighting the spider.
Exactly.
I am confused why pushing the spider back into its natural habitat kills it.
Exactly.
Oh, it's not explained. He's not like crushed by anything.
Nope. It's half wounded because they managed to burn it to a certain extent with some, kerosene or whatever.
But if it is burned, Is the ocean
I don't know.
better for it? I don't know. Okay, oh, sorry. I'm asking too many questions that the movie will not answer for me.
Will
So it's
not
okay.
answer.
Okay.
That's how it ends. Ajia goes home and he's sitting on the beach along the beautiful Taiwan coast where there's a bunch of rocks. And then he sees all of the people who he loved him, who passed away. And they tell him, go on and live a good life.
Jedi style.
That's how it ends.
You don't even get to see his daughter one more time?
No.
I was hoping they would end it with like, and now I'm better. Because it seems like that kind of movie. It seems like they could do...
Oh, he does look better at the end. He no longer looks like a pale drunk.
That is insane because it feels like he should look worse. I guess the epilogue is like, it's been some time.
Maybe, yes.
Why didn't they have the little girl show up then? If she was so cute, they should
Maybe
have
too
had
much money.
How much money are they paying? You know what? They're paying her family. What am I talking about? I was like, how much money are you paying a 4-year-old,
It's
like
just-
an 8-year-old? The other question, okay, so I guess the question is like, how do I feel now that you've told me about this movie?
Yes.
I think I still have a lot of questions. Michelle, if it is a crab, why is the crab also slimy? You know of any slimy crabs?
They don't make mucus. Fish make mucus in order to keep their skin moist, but crabs...
It's a crab. Could all of these crab spiders have recently molted? And then that's why they're all slimy because they're still soft. And that's also why they could be hurt by
They
people.
are definitely not soft because they put their legs right through people.
Okay, so that one's out the window really fast. Did Ajia do anything during this fight
Yes,
that
of
was
course.
like heroic or noble?
Lots of fighting.
Does his rescue experience come in handy at any point in this movie after the beginning where he fails?
He has to hold his breath a couple of times.
Okay, and so, but he's like really good at that because he's a diver.
He's a
and
diver.
also drunk.
Yeah.
And he's been out of the business for a long time, so he's like really good at holding his breath still. I'm ready to proceed. We're going to go to the next part.
So where does the fear factor come from?
Spiders.
Spiders, obviously.
At least on the bright side, this one is not so hard to find out.
Yeah. And it's thalassophobia, fear of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which is good. That's always a good
yeah,
one.
Yeah. That's that's pretty universal. I think if you don't have a healthy fear of
Very respectable fear.
things that are venomous and also places where you can drown.
And you know what? That's also why it's slimy. So like if we look at it from this angle, we just see a lot of very good scary things. I'm gonna try and elevate the conversation. So in monster theory, a lot of monsters are either something too big or something too small and something where it should not be.
Mm-hmm.
So like something that is like in the home or outside of the home, the theoretical home.
Yep.
That is bad.
Yep.
Okay. And you can apply this across the board. So like even if we were to apply ghost, that's something where it shouldn't be.
Oh, no,
that's dead
definitely
person.
not.
It should not be here. Okay. So if we look at the spiders are clearly
Way too big.
number one, also where they should not be. Which is what something, if we have hammered one thing home in this whole thing is that they should not be here.
Yes.
So that is good. Like the monster creation theory, solid. And I do respect just wanting to make a monster film. So yeah.
Yep.
Would you recommend this movie to anyone? And on a fear factor of 1 to 10, 1 is really bad. It was comedic. And then like 10 is like you peed your pants and you called your mom.
I don't like bugs, and spiders are included in that.
Yeah.
I don't like arthropods in general.
Yeah.
But when they are used in a really terrible movie, they are not scary. So I would rank this at a 1 or a 2. It's actually comedic.
Would I recommend this film? Maybe. This seems like it would be the perfect film to have like a drinking game to.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
With always be careful. So yes to that. I think I would rank it at like a 4 or a 5 on the fear factor because my physiological response was I mentioned before I want to vomit. I also started tearing up. I could feel the pinpricks in my eyes the longer the spiders were on the screen. Doesn't matter that they were good or bad. So for me, this movie is extremely unwatchable. And I resent the fact that I am, in fact, so scared.
Well, I'm glad that I could do you the service of watching it.
I'm
But-
glad you watched it for me.
I would not have watched this
Otherwise.
otherwise.
Oh, speaking of things that you will hate. Our last episode will be a Halloween episode. So we have saved the scariest for last. We will be watching Incantation.
And
The imagery is really scary.
It's really scary.
I will say, before you look it up, it does have that horrific phobia of like holes.
Trypophobia.
It did get me a little bit barfy. They play around with
Low frequency noises. Yay.
We're going to watch it at Michelle's house. And we will also put out a little video to prove you guys we have done it. We'll do a little before, a little after, a little promo. So like that, follow us there, and then come back here to hear us retell the story of incantation. We'll see you next time. Wait, sorry. This has been Radio Taiwan International. This has been Tales of Our Time on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Amanda Stevens. That's Michelle Chiang.
Yes, that's me.
Feeling bad about next week. We'll see you next time.